Hey everyone, my name is Bobby and I'm going to be going over how to do some modern calligraphy today. So, modern calligraphy is really different from traditional calligraphy as well as really different from cursive if you're still learning cursive in school. Modern calligraphy involves actually picking up the pencil or the pen as you're going and creating letters that are a little bit more spaced out. So I'm going to be showing you some examples of that in just a few moments. And all you really need today is a pencil and some ruled paper. So by ruled paper, I just mean like traditional lined paper like this. If you have a ruler, you might want one of those as well, and maybe some blank printer paper for scrap paper, but really all you need are those two things. So literally any plain old pencil will do. You can even use colored pencils. So let's get started. So for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to use lined paper and just this regular pencil. This one is just a number 2 pencil, but if you have nicer pencils at home that maybe you use for illustration or anything like that, feel free to use those instead. So what we're going to be doing today is going through just some really basic hand lettering skills. The first point that I want to make are that there are several different kinds of strokes that you're going to be doing in calligraphy, but the two things that you really want to focus on are your upstrokes and your downstrokes. So for your upstrokes, you're going to be going from the bottom up, and I want it to be a nice light line. So in this video, you can actually barely see that line. So anytime you're doing an upstroke, it's nice and light. So you can practice that with some lined paper, just starting from the bottom, just stroking up nice and lightly, maybe doing that over and over again, and just putting as little pressure as possible on your pencil. Just going through that just to create some consistency. And then for your downstrokes, that's when you're going to be using a bit of a harder line. So you're going to put a little bit more pressure on your pencil anytime you're going down. So if I'm just doing the exact same stroke but from the top, I'm just going to put a little bit more pressure and it's instantly a little bit darker. So again, if you have like nicer pencils or illustration pencils or something like a 4B, if you're into that, then this might show up a little bit darker. It might be a little bit more consistent, but just for some inclusivity and equity, we're just using just a basic number 2 pencil once again. So I'm just doing some nice firm downstrokes from the top line down to the bottom line. And what I really like about lined paper is that you've also got this midline. So if you can remember learning how to write in school, you would have made use of this midline again. So with our upstrokes and our downstrokes, it's really easy to start practicing a couple letters here and there. So I'm going to just show you the letter H here. I'm going to start a nice thin upstroke, pause at the middle line, get up to the top, loop around, and then apply a little bit more pressure on my way down. So I have the bottom of an H. Then I'm going to take it from the bottom, nice and light, go up to the midline, curve, and pressure down, downstroke, light pressure, up, upstroke. So there I have a nice pretty H. It's a little bit wobbly here, so I'm going to try again. So again, nice and light on my way up, pause, go all the way to the top, apply pressure on the way down, start again from the way down. I've lifted my pencil and put it back down, light on the way up, curve, hard on the way down, curve, light on the way up. So that's more of a calligraphy looking H. If I were to have done a cursive H, I don't know if they still teach cursive in school, but a cursive H is a continuous line. So I can still do it applying some pressure. I'm going to start from the bottom, nice and light on the way up, pressure on the way down, light on the way up, pressure on the way down, and up. So at first glance, they might look a little bit similar, but if you were to write an entire word using cursive versus hand-lettered modern calligraphy, you would notice a bit of a difference. So I'll show you that here. So I'll start with the cursive word. I'm just going to write the word hello. So light on the way up, hard on the way down, light on the way up, hard on the way down, E, L, L, O. So there's my cursive hello. And then now I'll do it a little bit more traditional or less traditional with some calligraphy. So light on the way up, loop around, hard on the way down, lift the pencil, light up, hard down, and then I lift the pencil again just to reset, light on the way up, hard, up, lift, loop, hard, lift, lift, nice and light on the way up. So there's your difference. So again, just to the naked eye, you might see these as quite similar, but you'll notice that the calligraphy, the modern lettered calligraphy one, is a little bit spaced out versus your traditional cursive. So we're going to practice a little bit more here. I'm going to show you some more strokes that we're going to be working with for some additional words. Okay, so you've got your upstrokes and your downstrokes, so your light strokes and your hard strokes, just your basic strokes. Now we're going to work on some curves. So just so they can all be in the same line, I'm going to do my upstrokes and downstrokes again, nice and light on the way up, and then a nice hard downstroke like that. The next kind of stroke we're going to learn is an upward curve. So I'm going to start light on the way up, curve, and then press on my way down. We're also going to be working with downstrokes that end in an upstroke. And then we're also going to be working in sort of a squiggly line stroke. So I don't know the names of all these strokes. I'm sure people who are professional calligraphers might, but we're going to call this next one a squiggly line. So we're going to start my squiggly line with an upstroke, which is nice and light, downstroke heavy, upstroke light. So we've basically just combined the squiggle up and squiggle down. Then we're also going to work with an oval, which starts with a downstroke, ends with an upstroke. And then we're also going to work with a stroke that kind of just looks like the letter L. So I'm going to start from the midline, nice loop-de-loop. Downstroke is hard. And then another kind of downstroke that you would use with a J or a G or a Y. And so that one starts from the midline. It goes down, loops around, and ends nice and light. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 basic strokes that we are going to be working with as we create some more words and put some more letters together. All right, so let's practice writing your name. Make sure to use the 1, 2, 3 lines in your paper so that you can actually practice all of this out. So for today's purpose, I'm actually going to use my legal name, which, fun fact, is Roberta, because it's a little bit longer and a little bit more fun to write out. So I'm going to start just here with a downstroke. I'm going to go all the way over to the other side, nice and light, and then curve, and then downstroke again, upstroke, curve, downstroke. Okay, so there's my name, Roberta, using this pencil to create it. I'm going to use a nice light upstroke to cross my T, and then I'm going to just go in and touch the whole thing up a little bit. So I just erased some extra shakiness. I see down here there's a little bit of an extra bit of scratch, so I'm just going to line that out. And then I just want to make sure that my T and my A connect there. So here I've written Roberta in my modern calligraphy hand lettering. So normally if we were at camp, I'd ask you all to shout out a word for me to write out, but I can't. So I am gonna write the word climbing, like an activity at camp. So I'm gonna write it in lowercase. I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna just use a lowercase c to get started. So starting with an upstroke, curve, downstroke. So here I have the word climbing, nice and hand lettered. So you really want to take your time with this. Make sure you're holding your paper nice and strongly. So I actually have my phone balancing on a book. It's like one of my yoga books. So I hope that's not too distracting, but it's just so I can film this so that I have both of my hands to write with. I thought it would be fun to make a birthday card. So I've just got a piece of normal printer paper here, just some 8.5 by 11 that I'm just folding in half. And then I like to have a really thick base when I'm writing on paper. And so I just have another piece of paper right underneath it. And I'm just gonna use color pencil. If you're really getting the hang of this, feel free to start using marker, using colored pencils. So I have this nice bright sort of reddish pink colored color pencil here. Just put it into focus for you. Yeah. I don't know what number this pencil is. I just got it in like a random craft box I have, so you can use whatever works for you. I have my 8.5 by 11, just some regular printer paper here folded in half that I'm gonna use for this birthday card. So I'm gonna start out writing the word happy and then birthday underneath. So I'm using a nice light upstroke all my way up. Loop it around, downstroke, nice and heavy. So I've written the word happy. It might have been helpful for me to have like a line underneath it because it's a little off center, but I'm not really worried about that. You can see some of my light strokes are a little too light. So I'm gonna go back in here and just spruce this up a little bit. That looks a bit better. It's a little bit more scribbly, but I kind of like that look. So happy, and I'm gonna use purple to write birthday. There we go. So I've got my happy birthday on this card. It's kind of, there's not much going on the card right now. But the fun thing is that I can kind of go back through these lines and spruce this up even more. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some accents to it. So I decided to go back over my words happy and birthday with some extra colors. So I used blue on the birthday and yellow on the word happy. And then I just decided to go in and add some little lines and dots just to kind of spruce up the words themselves. So that's another fun way to add in some modern calligraphy. Another thing I might do is just add someone's name here at the top. I'm actually gonna use my own name because I don't have any birthdays coming up. So I was just putting my name in anyway to say that it's my birthday. I'm gonna put a nice hard line under my name so that everybody knows it's my birthday card. Bobby, happy birthday. And then you can design the card any additional way that you like. And you can write a message inside if you want to and go from there. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your summer, and I would love to see some of your creations, so feel free to send them into Internet Island.